Saturdays are like the only time I still feel like it's my childhood and it's Christmas morning. Like any other time when you're like a 10-year-old and you wake up, you're fucking miserable. But on Christmas morning, 6 a.m., your ass is up, ready to go. That's how I feel on Saturday mornings now. I may not look awake, but the big guy's awake. We got the old cold brew IV going. We're rolling deep today. So let's see. Just waiting on the editor to get my shit set up here. Here we go. Yeah, as I'm talking to you, he's over here setting up my shit. We got quite the operation. Man, I was just putting a lineup together. I thought I had the nuts, and I'm $100 fucking off. So frustrating. Gosh damn it. It's so frustrating. All right. Let's see. I'm going to talk about some things, then I'm going to answer your questions. Hey, editor, put up the stats for me, please. I want the YouTube stuff. All right. Let's talk about this, and then we'll answer questions, right? All right. I think the biggest news is this. This is what I'm thinking. The biggest news is it looks like everybody from Cincinnati, they said, is playing, which if you don't know, Cincinnati's in a very competitive game. They have a pretty nice total at 31. They have an efficient offense. I've heard some people talking about McClelland. He is a nice option, but I believe their other running back is one of the guys that's going to be back today. That's probably going to cut into his share a little bit. I think McClelland's a viable play in GPPs. I don't think I can get him in cash. If I'm going to spend $6,100 on McClelland at cash, I'm just happily going to go play. I don't know how you don't play Flickens from Stanford. Like, if you don't have him in there, just go drop the $300. You got to have him in your lineup. He just seems like a bell cow. They have a 28-point total. They run the shit out of the ball. You got to like him. I don't see how he doesn't get you at least 15 points outside of an injury. And he probably has 30-point upside. You just can't pass that up. And then I think I'd also rather have Spears from Tajay Spears from Tulane, right? He seems they're going to be in a very favorable script also. Where the fuck is that game at? Where you at? Where you at, you stupid-ass game? You stupid bitch game. There we go. Tajay Spears, 5,700. I'd just rather drop down to those guys as bell cows and not have to really worry about it. They both are favored. They're both at home. They're both in favorable scripts. I'd rather just do that in cash. Now, I would agree. McClellan's probably a more talented back than those two guys, so maybe he has more upside in a GPP, but, I'm playing cash, so that's mainly what I'm talking about. But I've just decided I don't know. I'll probably end up playing some GPPs after this. You guys will get me excited about somebody. The other, some other injury news. I feel like we got to talk about injuries because here's the big one. This Brendan Morton. I have a lineup. You look at me. You look at the fucking monitor. Look at my eyes. I have a nuts fucking cash lineup. I have exactly 6,800 left over for the Superflex. I love it. I fucking love it. And you would think go throw in Brent. How the fuck you say his name? B Morton is what we're gonna call him because that's a stupid fucking name. Beerin. Parents, I don't know if they're drunk or they just don't like him. So anyways, Beerin Morton. He would be the nuts play. He definitely is the best quarterback on this slate for GPPs, right? He's just unbelievable. I mean, like, he is he's a good quarterback. He's a freshman, but he is in an unbelievable situation. High team total, shootout potential, a team that runs fast, a team that passes it all over the place, and he can even run a little bit. So, like, he's a nuts play. But here's the problem. Their original quarterback, Show? I don't even know how to fucking say his name. The guy that got hurt week 1, he's back, and so he might be rotating in. Donovan Smith is back, who was their starter for most of the season, and now the coach is saying that all three of them are going to see the field today. That could be bullshit. It could be like Donovan Smith's going to see the field as a wide receiver like he did last week. So I don't know how to read that situation, but I'll tell you this. It scares me too fucking much to play him in cash. That's where I'm at with it. It scares me too much to play him in cash, which sucks because I have a nuts lineup. I like every person in my cash lineup, and I have exactly $6,800 left, and he fits perfect in there. And to me, if I knew he was going to be playing the whole game for Tech, he is the safest, best play on the slate without question. But now that there's like this cloud over him, I think now he's just a really good GPP play, and I can't in good conscience put him in my cash lineup, especially if they're going to pull him for, weird packages on the goal line, or maybe they run some trick plays for the other quarterbacks and they throw touchdowns. I can't afford to be missing out on that shit. So I'm really getting cold feet about him. The other one, it seems like Tyler Scott was the only one that did not seem to get the seal of approval to be okay today to play for Cincinnati. If he's out, I think that makes Trey Tucker a cash play, right? I did read an article that he was saying that, Scott's kind of day to day, but they're not going to rush him back because they have great depth at receiver. To me, that's coach talk for he's going to be out or severely limited. Trey Tucker at 6,200 is getting, he already got 9 targets last week whenever Scott went down. They have a 31-point team total. I feel like this is a pretty good spot. Plus, if you don't know, if you haven't started making your cash lineup yet, wide receiver this week is a fucking barren wasteland. Fuck wide receivers at cash this week. It is disgusting. And here's my rule. If you don't know this, new guys, which by the way, we had like 7 new guys sign up today, so I will be talking to some new guys today. Here's how I almost always make my cash lineup for college football. If I'm going to punt, and you almost inevitably have to punt if you want to get some of the stars in, right? If you're going to punt, I like to punt at receiver because in college football, the workload for running backs is so much more consistent than it is in the NFL. In the NFL, you never see running backs get 25 touches, maybe like a McCaffrey or something like that on his best weeks, right? But you just don't see it. In college football, these guys, Braylon Allen could get 35 touches today. Like, that's not crazy, right? And so you just got to pay for that certainty, right? It gives you such a safe floor. Plus, the talent difference in college football is so much different that those rushes in college football mean a lot more than the NFL. In the NFL, rushing attempts don't matter as much. You'd rather see targets and stuff because those points add up a lot quicker. But in college football, I'm paying up at quarterback. I'm always doing a quarterback in the flex and in the super flex. I am always going to get 3 running backs that I like in the lineup. Two running backs, and usually the flex is almost always a running back, unless it's one of those weird weeks where there's good value at wide receiver. And then, when the wide receiver slate sucks, I punt at wide receiver. Because you know why? Because wide receiver is the only one of those positions that is dependent about somebody else getting them the ball. And so because of that, I'd rather take my risk there. So, you see guys like Rashee Rice, right? He's probably the best player on the slate at wide receiver. But he's kind of been banged up all year. 27 isn't the highest total, and he only got 5 targets last week. I'm not saying he's not a great play. I'm just saying I don't want to go pay up there. If I'm going to pay up for a guy at 7,900 at wide receiver, I'd rather just go pay up and get Braylon Allen in my cash lineup. I'd rather go pay up and get Bo Nix in my cash lineup, which, by the way, I have a cash lineup where my last 2 guys in, This is if you want to hear. I can either go Bo Nix and Jadavion Sanders from Texas. That's option 1. Or I can go Trey Scott and Morton, which would be the nuts, right? Because those 2 are the same price totals. I really want Bo Nix in my lineup. I can't believe I'm saying that, but the more I looked at it, he just the game total, the pace of that game, everything makes sense. But at the same time, I really like Trey Tucker quite a bit more than Jadavion Sanders. Plus, I'm probably going to play Mayer, which I don't love that I'm doing, but fuck. At 9 targets, it seems like he's going to get you 15 points. You just take the free square and you move the fuck on, right? So I'm going to mess around and try to find a way to get him in there. I just don't see how to do it, though. Okay, let's see. Any other injury news I want to talk about? CJ Stroud, I even considered him, but he's not in a competitive enough environment, so I'm going Nix over Stroud and cash if I end up going that direction, right? I wish I could just play Brendan Morton. Right now, if I have 6,800 left and I can't go with him, I'm probably leaning towards Jackson Dart. He hasn't been super great this year, but this is going to be the first time where Ole Miss is going to get pushed all year, and I think that he is probably going to pass the ball 40 times, maybe for the first time all year. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I'd be shocked if he's passed more than 40 times in a game. And if he has, it's just because they fucking play 300 plays a game. That would be the only reason why. Man, I feel like you really want to have either DTR or Charbonnet. I ended up going with Charbonnet. The guy's he's been the nuts for me every time I've played him this year at cash. He never lets me down. He's a bell cow. He catches it. He runs it. He has a nose for the end zone. He's going to be in a high game total. Just makes a lot of sense, man. And then I think the one guy that just you could never get me off of this week is Casey Flickens. He's the must play. And then with Braylon Allen, he is my FOMO. I'm just scared. Like, he just has a 40 burger in him anytime. And, to me, he's a pretty flaky player. Well, he's not a flaky player. The Wisconsin coaching staff is a flaky coaching staff, and you don't know how many touches he's going to get. So, but I have FOMO, so he will be in my cash lineup. There's just no way I'm not playing him. Between Flickens, Braylon Allen, Tajay Spears, and Charbonnet, I felt, to me personally, I felt like I had to get 3 of them in my lineup, in my cash lineup. So that's where I'm at. And then, of course, Jaden Daniels. I don't care if he's 100% owned. I'm playing him. There's no way I'm not playing Jaden Daniels. Okay, I think I'll go to questions now. I hit most of the stuff. I guess my thoughts are just monitoring a couple injuries, specifically this Tyler Scott. I'm punting at receiver. I am trying to get running backs in there. I'm going with quarterbacks in high scoring games with competitive lines. You know, like this Wake Forest, Sam Hartman seems like he'd be a great play, right? But, like, it's just not a competitive game, and I'm afraid that they're going to throw the brakes on in the third quarter, and I don't want a quarterback playing 2.5 quarters, so I'm not going to do it. Spencer Sanders seems banged up. You know I'm a Spencer Sanders whore. I would love to have him in my cash, but I think that he is going to be severely limited today if he even plays, so I don't think you should be playing Spencer Sanders in cash. If you want to get cute and throw him in some GPPs, the guy is a fucking gamer, and he's gutsy, and he'll go out there, and he could have a game. I think, you would think, oh, well, Spencer Sanders out, that makes Dominic Richardson a better play. Well, I think Dominic Richardson's a great play. He's the focal point. He's the bell cow for Oklahoma State. But I think Sanders being out will actually make it easier for Texas to key on him. So that actually makes me like him less with the news that I think Spencer Sanders is either going to be out or limited. Let's see. Over on FanDuel, because some of you guys play FanDuel. It's a lot easier over on FanDuel. You just play fucking Plumlee as your second cash game quarterback. You just fucking find a way to make it happen. That's a piece of cake, right? If I were playing FanDuel cash today, Plumlee and Daniels. There you go. And then you just fucking figure it out from there. But we don't have that luxury over on DraftKings. Okay. By the way, Gibbs is still too cheap for Alabama over there on FanDuel. Let's see. I had Zay Flowers in there for a little bit in my cash lineup, but I think with the news that Tyler Scott probably going to be out or limited, I think that makes Tucker more of a value. You know, if you can get up to Ibuka, he's probably safe, but you do got to worry about, like, with Jackson Smith and the Jigba coming back, like, he is the best wide receiver in the country. You got to think they're going to force some targets to him, right? So he's probably going to eat into Ibuka. They got the two running backs. If they each bust a touchdown run or two, at some point it's already 42-7 in the third quarter. Now they're pulling all their starters, right? That's what you got to worry about with Ibuka. And 6,900 is not exactly a cheap price tag to have. If I'm paying 6,900, I'm probably finding a way to just get up to 7,900 for Rashee Rice, right? I'd rather have the alpha in a competitive environment than a second guy. You know, maybe he's a first or a second in a non-competitive environment. Okay, now I'll finally get to questions. I'll shut the fuck up. All right. Good morning. Let's make it a day. I mean, I got quite the streak going, so I hope so too. Zach Green, what's up, brother? All right. Blink. Yo. Happy Saturday, MFers. That's right. Just like Christmas morning, man. Doing single entries, would you attack one specific game or mini stack or do one-offs? Yeah, Nick, so in single entry, I don't like attacking a game. I don't like stacking a game. If I'm going to, like, if you're going to go play one of those lineups where you have 6 guys from the UCLA-Oregon game, I think you need to do that in MMEs, the mass multi-entries. If you're going to do a single entry, I think you should probably do a correlation, maybe a Daniels and whatever one of his receivers you like. By the way, only run him with one of his receivers. So go run a Daniels Neighbors, maybe run it back with Jackson Dart or one of his receivers, or if you want to try to gamble on Evans or Judkins, go ahead. But that's about it. And then from there, I maybe go try to play a correlation play, maybe Charbonnet, if you want to go try to punt on one of these Oregon receivers. By the way, I saw somebody in the chat saying Oregon receiver in cash. Get the fuck out of here. Oregon receivers are GPPs only. You do not put them in cash. Okay, and inevitably one of them will go for 30 points, and you'll be like, I could have won cash if I had him. But, like, you don't know which one's going to go for 30 points. Their usage is so fucking random. Don't do it, Bob. Don't do it. The only Oregon Duck you should consider for cash is Bo Nix. So there you go, Nick. That's what I would do. I would not stack a game if I'm doing a single entry. Dart versus Daniels. I mean, Travis, this ain't even a question. You got to have Daniels in your lineup. You got to have him in there. If you're talking about stacking those two in a game versus each other, I love it. To me, this is like the most likely game to just get out of control. You look on, it's like 49-42, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Because LSU, I've grown up my whole life with LSU being 3/4 a retard on offense and always having a great defense, and this year they seem like the exact opposite. So I'm really starting to warm up to Jackson Dart. You know, even though they're a very run-centric team, Jackson Dart is getting 7 carries a game, which gives him a nice floor. He can run for a white boy. And the other thing is when they run 100 plays a game, he's probably going to get a certain amount of passes just based on this huge number of plays they run. So right now I'm probably leaning towards Jackson Dart as my super flex, which is so weird. Plus, he was supposed to come to OU, but he fucking ditched us like a $2 whore. My biggest wish today is that LSU doesn't let you down. Well, Nick, they're LSU, so they'll let me down because they're fucking losers. All right, Chris says, what would your favorite game stack be for GPPs? Well, so to answer that, Chris, obviously you want to go look at the purple games, right? The ones that I have limited, these are the target games. To me, these are the 3 best ones to target. However, you got to go look, and you need to go look at the ownership. I'll say this. You see the ownership colors on their names? None of these games are particularly chalky. So I would say these would probably be my top 3 games to target. They all have high totals. They all have fast teams, and they all have at least somewhat efficient offenses. I don't know if I want to call West Virginia an efficient offense. And then, so those would be my 3 favorites. If you wanted to get sneaky, you have the Oklahoma State and Cincinnati game here. Those are both okay, but I will tell you with Spencer Sanders being out, I feel like that really kills the upside of this game a lot. So, I'm kind of thinking that maybe I need to downgrade this one to just the normal color, right? Where the fuck is this color? Is it this one? Where you at? It's close enough. I'll make the editor fix it. Hey, editor, fix that shit. Yeah, with Spencer Sanders there, I don't feel like this game has near as much shootout value, so I'm not really targeting this game anymore in GPPs. So I guess it would just be those 4 games, right? Game 7, Game 8, Game 6, Game 4. Those would be the 4 I'd be targeting. All right, Jared, what's up, brother? Morton, a good GPP shot. Jared, I said this earlier. I think Morton is the nuts GPP play. He is under if the coach is just bullshitting and bluffing us and trying to get the West Virginia coaching staff trying to get in their head, and Morton plays the whole game, and they're playing fast and aggressive. Morton's the nuts. He's an $8,600 quarterback at $6,800. He has a huge floor. He has a huge ceiling. He's everything you want in a quarterback. He's playing in a fast offense with a huge total against a team that also plays fast and can keep it competitive. Morton, to me, is a nuts GPP play. Now, there's a chance that you understand when I say this. A GPP is like it's like playing craps. You're rolling the dice, motherfather. And so there is a chance that they have packages for Smith. Maybe Show comes out and plays a full quarter. Who knows? But in GPPs, you're not fucking worried about that. You're only playing for every player that in your lineup to be the nuts. In cash, I would say Morton just does not have a big enough floor for me to play him. He still has that big ceiling because if he plays the whole game, he has 40-point upside. But he also has a 12-point floor. And I'm not playing a guy with a 12-point floor at quarterback. Not doing it, Bob. Hold on. Big guy needs some more. I'm almost out of cold brew. You guys think Ma needs to bring me a fucking cold brew today? Yeah, so Chris says that Sanders wide receiver from Texas. He's actually more of an H-back. He's a real big motherfucker. He's only a true freshman, and he's done me very well at cash this year. He is a very reasonably priced punt. He gets his targets. Quinn Ewers has already showed he likes to target him around the red zone. I think Jadavion Sanders he does have probably a 5-point floor, but he also probably has a 25-point upside. He's when I put Bo Nix in there, I end up with Jadavion Sanders. So clearly I don't hate him, but man, I don't know. That's tough. I just don't want to have a guy in my cash lineup with a 5-point floor, and tight ends always have 5-point floors. Thoughts on Mathis from West Virginia? Mathis from West Virginia. That running back situation for West Virginia, I think they're going to get behind. So I don't see them running the ball a ton. And it does seem like Mathis and Donaldson are locked up in a pretty good timeshare. So I think I'd rather be Bryce Ford Wheaton there. It's probably my favorite play from West Virginia if I'm running it back against Tech. I'm just telling you, man, there's too many good running back options this week to try to get cute with these timeshares, right? That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. You play whoever you want, big guy. Look to Stanford wide receivers, good punt options. Yeah, right now in my cash lineup, I have Higgins in there, right? But fuck, I really want to get him out. But getting him out, who do I go to? It's not clear who I pivot to off of him. I'm just kind of playing him because I feel like he's a guy that will probably get me at least 10 points. Stanford has a big total. He is going to get most of their targets with, I can't remember their fucking starter that's out. So, I don't like to have a running back and a wide receiver from Stanford. That's why I still want to go fuck around with my lineup. But, man, it really allows me to get everybody else I want in there. Mr. Venturini, cheap punt wide receiver this week. Already talked about it. Faux shizzle. Brett says, who would be your top 3 running backs based on their value and high ceilings for cash? Yeah, I already hit that one too. The best running backs for cash. There's only 4 in my opinion that are kind of the top. Charbonnet, Spears from Tulane, Flickens from Stanford, and of course Allen from Wisconsin. If I wanted to put a fifth one on there, I know a lot of people are going to play Valladay from Arizona State. He has a very nice floor because they give him the ball so much. So he's very viable too. He's very viable also. Those would be mine. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Woody, for the win? Good luck today. Hey, good luck to you too, mother father. Yeah, we're talking about stacking Dart and Daniels. You're welcome, Travis. Let's see. Askwell says stop the stream. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Unless you're talking about me getting more cold brew. We're empty. We're empty. Ma! Hey, Ma, I need a cold brew. She'll get me one. Remember this moment when all the chops Ole Miss LSU game stack. Got you. Rick Rold says, first time playing college football GPP for the LSU game. Who is your favorite wide receiver running to mini stack in both? Yeah, let's go look at that, Mr. Rick Rold. So for the LSU game, let's go. Let's go. For the LSU game, my favorite stacks, I think Josh Williams is very, very live. I feel like if you're playing LSU Ole Miss stacks, you got to get Josh Williams in there. Honestly, I almost considered him for cash. I just like other running backs too much, but in a GPP lineup, give me all the Williams. I like Neighbors and Booty. I don't like them together with Daniels, but if you're making multiple lineups, I would do Daniels Neighbors, Daniels Booty, because there is a good chance one of them has a 30 burger in them. Running it back over here, good luck picking Ole Miss. All these guys are very, very viable, but picking which one's going to go off is very tough. So if I'm running Dart, Dart's one of those guys, I don't think he needs two receivers to get him there. I think you could run just Mingo, just Heath, or just Watkins with him. You could probably even mix in an Evans or a Judkins. Maybe they catch a screen, take it to the house. Plus, they're going to be running the ball, so there's that. So honestly, everybody I have on here for this game, I would like. I don't love Emory that much. If I'm going to play a running back from LSU, I'll just play Josh Williams, take the $1,800 savings, and he does seem to be kind of the more primary back. And I think I saw he's a captain today. Who the fuck plays a freshman at captain? Slapdick LSU. Bill says, Tyler Scott out today. Well, Bill, I don't think we have official word on that. And the game's not till 2 o'clock, I believe, Lord's time zone. So we're still waiting. But I'm assuming he's going to be out or at least greatly diminished. So Trey Tucker is currently in my cash lineup. Cincinnati with that point total seems pretty nice. Is DTR safe enough to play in cash? Jeff, probably. I wouldn't play him and Charbonnet because they do tend to cannibalize each other's upside a lot because they both run so much. I had him in my initial build for cash just because I fucking hate the second quarterback this week. It's like I got Daniels, and then who the fuck do I play in the super flex? I'm okay with DTR, but man, I think I'd rather play Charbonnet. I think. But, it's just $7,900 is a pretty steep price tag. For $7,900, I can usually get somebody like, a naked hooker or Spencer Sanders, right? It's like, do I really want to pay $7,900 for DTR? Oh, it's tough. It's tough. See if you can find the $1,400, get up to Bo Nix, because that guy's been a 40-point monster every week. Don't stack him with anybody unless you're playing a GPP, though. In cash, just run a naked Nix. All right. Morton in a single entry. Who the fuck is Morton? You can't just say random names. Who the fuck is Morton? Well, give me another cold brew. Let's go. Bijan today, Travis. I am all about some Bijan in GPPs. The guy has such a huge ceiling, but at 9,400, there's just no way you can play him in cash. There's no way you can play him in cash, especially now that I feel like Oklahoma State loses a lot of their ability to push Texas today with Spencer Sanders possibly being out. I can't do it, but I think he's still a great GPP flyer. I'm all about it. Love wide receiver White from Tech. Let's see. I mean, I would love to play. Do we have any injury news? Is Miles Price officially out? Because if Price is out, I feel like that does really help Xavier White. I think we saw this a couple weeks ago when Miles Price was out. Let's just go to the Twitter real quick. Twitter. What the fuck is his name? How the hell do you spell Miles? Is it Miles like this? Miles Price. Is he out? Anybody know? Miles Price, latest. Monitoring. Yeah, Texas Tech's being so fucking bitchy with their shit. But if he's out, I think that really opens up Xavier White. And Xavier White was, I think he was that guy that everybody played at cash. What was that, about 3 weeks ago? It was kind of a nuts play. So if I got word that Price is out, I think I would probably play some Xavier White because I really like that game total. And then that extra $500 would probably help me upgrade one of my other positions that I'm kind of like about right now, right? Found the nuts combo on FanDuel with Daniels and Plumlee as your QB. There you go. You know what? Maybe I should go get on FanDuel and play some cash today. Quit treating it like a dirty fucking whore. I always do that. Okay, moving on. Hold on. Let me get a drink of the cold brew. Look, I just got bottles everywhere. All right, next question. Nick says, "Go Tigers." This is the best stream you've ever had. I don't know what the fuck that means, Nick. I feel like you're slandering all my past ones. All right, Jared says, "Worthy in cash." Is he worthy in cash or worthy in cash? I see what you did there, you clever mofo. Yes, I had him in my initial build. I've kind of gotten cold on him just because I decided I wanted a punt at receiver. If I'm going to pay $6,100 for worthy in cash, I probably am just going to go pay the $6,200 and get Trey Tucker. That's where I'm at, brother. Zach Green says, Price they're thinking is back and coming off a bye week, so I think he plays. Zach seems to know his injuries. If there's two guys you want to listen to on injury news, it's Asqua and it's Zach Green. Those guys, they're some college football motherfathers. I believe one's from Oklahoma, one's from Arkansas. So that if you don't know, that's the Lord's country when it comes to college football. Wait, maybe I'm just saying, maybe Asqua's from Ohio. I can't remember. I think I always want to think he's from Arkansas because I always want to say his name like Arkansas. Anyways, Mr. Pentrini, Thomas or Booty, LSU receiver. Well, if I like them both. I like them both. If I'm playing, I don't like either of them in cash, but if I'm playing GPPs, I'm going to have Daniels all over it, and I'm rotating Neighbors and Booty. I don't think I'm ever going to put them together. I don't think Daniels the kind of guy that gets two wide receivers there. But at those price tags, it is possible. It is possible. I think I'd rather just do like a Jaden Daniels, Williams, and then either Neighbors or Booty, and just hope all three of them get there, and then I'd run it back with two Ole Miss guys, and then maybe go game stack another one, but that's only for GPPs. Nick says, Morton from Texas Tech and single entry? Sure. As long as it's a GPP, you can play Morton. I don't care if it's an MME, a mass multi-entry, or a single entry, as long as it's a GPP where you are trying to play for first place, Nick. If you're trying to play for first place, okay, we're in cash. We're not trying to play for first place, right? We're trying to play for like 55th place, right? We just want to beat most of everybody in the 100-person field, right? Then you can't play Morton in cash. But in any GPP form, I like Morton. I think it could be the slate breaker today, or he could be a fucking bust if they decide not to play him. You talking up LSU, never thought I'd see the day. Nick, I like money more than I like my pride. So there's that. There is that. Okay. Any other questions? We're right at 30 minutes. Get your questions in now. Get your questions in. Chris says he's questionable. I assume we're still talking about Price. Yeah. You know what I don't need? I don't need fucking questionable tags, all right? Get the fuck out of here. Hey, college football, I need fucking answers. I need some fucking answers. I wonder if the fuck counter's on right now. Hold on. I can hear the noise. Maybe y'all can't hear it. Yeah, Zach, I did earlier in the stream. Thanks for being here. I'm kidding. Rashee Rice, he seems like he's going to play. I think it's just one of those things he's just kind of toughing it out all year. Like, it's just kind of like one of those nagging injuries. He's had one. It's just been a nagging injury all year. And because of that, he's just been playing through it. Right, and if they get a lead, they'll probably pull him. But I don't see any way SMU gets a big lead on Cincinnati and they pull him. Favorite punt wide receiver under 4K. So under 4K. Well, I mean, are we talking GPP or are we talking? Because I really like this Goffney guy from SMU. He could be a sneaky one at 3,000 if you're playing GPP, Nick. Yeah, I think Goffney is somebody to check out. Some other really good punt receivers. I think Watkins from Ole Miss is interesting. Chris Hudson from Oregon is interesting. Jatavion Sanders, of course, from Texas is interesting. This Jaquan Jackson, he seems to be trending to be the number one receiver for Tulane. I think they kind of have a Manila offense. Manila is the capital of the Philippines. That's a country for all of you that don't know. Yeah, that'd be some of the guys I'd be looking at there, Nick. Nickaroni. You play Mayers and Cash? I mean, as of right now, I am, Brett. But like, as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, it's really getting my juices flowing, and it kind of makes me just want to punt him because, like, you know, I don't know. I've played him at Cash once this year. He did me very well. I keep saying that about every guy. I mean, basically everybody I have played at Cash has done me well this year. But he did me very well that week. He is their biggest target. I think you can assume 8 to 10 targets for him. I do worry that like a blowout narrative, maybe they pull his ass in the third quarter. So maybe I just go punt with somebody, right? And then that gives me that extra money to get Jackson Dart up to Bo Nix or something. I was actually just fucking around with that. I think I was literally $100 short. $100 fucking dollars. Manila is a folder. Got a Manila folder. Bill, who is your favorite cash receiver for FanDuel? I have Plumlee and Daniels and Gibbs and Allen as running backs. Let's see. Is there any really good options on the duel of the fan? I mean, Shit, do I have any fucking wide receivers listed as cash over? Oh, Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice at 9,300? Get the fuck out of here. You got to play Rice over on FanDuel. That's a fucking ridiculous tag. 9,300 for that fucking usage monster? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, there you go. There, that's him. Cash, Gibbs good for cash or GPP? I like him more for GPP. I feel like there's probably some better spin down options at running back. Like for me, I'm still gonna try to get Allen in there at 9,500. You can't play Flickens over there. His Spears isn't over there, and then his Charbonnet at 10,200. It's pretty pricey. I think I'd rather play Gibbs at the $500 discount there, brother. All right. Any other questions? Ask now or forever hold your peace. The big guy kind of wants to go do some FanDuel lineups right now and kind of wants to figure out my old, what's it called? Did we get the final Rosetta Stone posted? No, he's going to post it right after this, Jeff. The only reason why is I figured that I'd be doing some editing here, which I didn't really do. I'm going to go ahead and switch him to cash. Hey, editor, go post this. Go post this so everybody can look at it. There we go. It's 10 o'clock. If I punt at wide receiver, do I have to stack it with QB? In a GPP, no. I would encourage it, but you don't have to. Zay Flowers and cash, a bad call? No, Zach. I had Zay Flowers in there a lot, but here was my thinking. His team, he only has a 20-point team total. So there is a narrative in which this game gets out of control quick, and he does get forgotten about. But if you think that BC is going to, even somewhat keep it close and be pushing or, only be down 2 or 3 touchdowns where they're still passing in the third and fourth quarter, it's really hard to see Zay Flowers not getting there in that game script, right? So I think he's very good. But what I ended up doing is I just took that $300 extra and I got up to, what the fuck is he? Trey Tucker. I could be wrong. If Tyler Scott plays, it's probably a bad play. I like Flowers more if Scott's out. I like Tucker more if Scott is wait. Let me rephrase that. I like Flowers more if Scott is in. I like Tucker more if Scott is out. There we go. High upside running backs for single entry GPPs. If you want high upside running backs, I don't think you can go wrong with old Josh Williams from LSU. Bijan could go there. Maccabee from Purdue. No one's going to play him, and people love that fucker just 2 weeks ago. And Valladay would be another good one. He just gets so many damn carries. Maybe Arizona State forgets they suck for a game. Juckins or Shipley in GPP? Shipley from Clemson. I was like, who the fuck is Shipley? Give me Shipley. I just hate trying to both these running backs. It's legit like a 50-50 timeshare. So give me Shipley because at least he gets about 70 to 75% of the work. But I will tell you that Clemson game has very little possibility of shooting out, Nick, whereas this LSU game has a real chance of shooting out. And it would not surprise me if Evans or Juckins went for a 40 burger today. I don't see any chance Shipley gets a 40 burger. Not a chance in hell. But I see a world where Evans or Juckins gets a 40 burger. All right. I think that's it, guys. It's 10:04. It looks like the editor is posting this right now. I'll probably be around the chat if you have any questions. Lineup lock is in 56 minutes. Get your lineups in. Hey, don't forget, keep guys in later games in your flex and in your super flex, right? If you have any guys going off in these early 11 o'clock games, make sure they're at the actual positions, right? The quarterback, the running back, or the receivers. Always leave your super flex and your flex with guys who are playing in later games, so you have the ability to go flip them if some news breaks later in the day, right? And you'll have more options because the super flex and the flex obviously have more options to rotate players in. So just make sure when you're making your lineup, you have your cash lineup just how you like, and one quarterback goes off at 11 a.m. and one goes off at 2 a.m. Make sure you got the 11 a.m. guy in the quarterback spot, and you have the 2 a.m. guy or the 2 p.m. guy in the super flex, right? So then if shit happens or things aren't going well or whatever, you can go pivot down there in the super flex at 1:30 before the 2 o'clock game starts, right? All right, guys, I think I'm out. Good luck to you. I will talk to you this evening because me and John are doing a stream for NFL tonight. Later, motherfathers.